We are.
Hello, beautiful people. We are live on another Tuesday night. We're back at it for NXT. The afterbirth, the aftermath, the fallout from, probably shouldn't have started that way, pause. But the fallout from Stand and Deliver. We're now in the dawning of the age of him. Carmelo Hayes is the new NXT champion. Plus, we've still got everything and anything with the Raw after Mania. What's going on with Dick Dastardly Vince McMahon backstage and everything? But absolutely, folks, tell everybody that you know this is the place you need to be for anything pro wrestling. So strap on and strap in. NXT kicks off right now. Oh, man. Hello again, beautiful people. Like I said, we are the Wrasslin for Life Network. It's a lovely Tuesday night. We've got the newest NXT after the biggest, quote-unquote, Stand and Deliver. Like I said, we've got a new women's NXT Women's Champion in Indy Hartwell. We've got a new men's champion in Carmelo Hayes. We've got the Grizzled Young Veterans asking for their release. But who you got here hosting with the mostest? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrasslin for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I am Big Nick. How the hell you doing, sir?
I'm well, man. It's another day in the wrestling world, and the wrestling world has lost its goddamn mind, so we're in a good company, at least in that way. Yeah, the world has blown up and lost all sense of comprehension.
But everybody's now, the end is nigh, time to run away. Like I said, we do have NXT, but we might be talking about some few other things.
Look, I already see the chat filling up, guys.
I was going to say, we got Ronnie, Steve, Excalibur, Curtis. Christ, we filled up quick. Kayla, Jack, Damien. We got Steve, and we got, I think I saw Victor up there. We got Mick. We got so many before we even. Damn.
Yeah, man. We roll.
Yeah, but how you find beautiful people doing? So do we want to just get right into it at this point?
Well, did anyone put it in the chat to kind of we got some.
Well, we got Jack right there. So there, we can just use that as a jumping off point. We'll just, jump right into it here. I feel like everybody's talking about it. We kind of got to address it.
Man, it's insane. Like the wrestling, like the IWC went insane. And I'm watching podcasters and wrestlers and reporters and fans just fucking melt down. And I'm kind of confused. And I kind of proposed it to you and CJ today. I'm like, guys, I don't quite comprehend everything. And because it's so outlandish and so fucked. I mean, in so many different ways. I think there's two separate stories here. One, there's a story of Cody Rhodes and how he was booked. And I saw posts like, do you think Cody Rhodes regrets? No, he main evented WrestleMania. He's going to take on Brock. He doesn't regret shit. But we'll get into that later.
You do. I do admit you got to like the memes and everything of, Triple H never forgets. And it shows Cody smashing the throne with a sledgehammer.
I saw that. That one made me laugh. But, man, the funniest thing about the Cody Rhodes situation in this is that so many people were against him being champion. He hasn't earned it. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. Then he didn't become the champion, and everyone unified together, and we're like, oh, this is bullshit. That was one of the biggest shifts. There were so many people beating that drum. I wanted Cody to win. I thought he had told enough of a story that the WWE would just hammer it home. However, they didn't do that. I still think the match was amazing. I still think the pay-per-view was amazing. I still think what they're doing with Cody could be amazing.
Well, and that's another thing of speaking of what they're doing with Cody, because we've got the whole Brock situation. But I do have, for those watching NXT as well, we do have Indy Hartwell, the new women's NXT champion, coming out right now with a little help from Dexy. But I think right now with Cody, it's his hard times, baby. He's going through his hard times.
I agree with you.
And that's what it is. And I know I brought this up, and I do have to give credit where credit's due. Bully Ray said it the best, honestly, that I've heard, and it was a fantastic point of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes did not sell out WrestleMania. Not saying that WrestleMania did not sell out. They weren't what sold the tickets for that. Yeah. What sold the tickets was it's WrestleMania, it's Hollywood, and we might get Roman versus Brock. So there's nothing saying that we can't build. It
Mhm.
might be a little bit of a stretch, but to go all the way to WrestleMania 40 and you build that, and then you build it just based on Cody versus Roman.
It could be like that's what you saw the temper tantrum from Dave LaGreca, I think.
Oh, I
And
didn't want to, but yeah.
oh my God, like
If you missed it, tune on. Like, just have any child throw a temper tantrum, and it's the same thing.
yeah. Why can't like I'm watching podcasters, and I mean even some YouTubers out there who might be famous and from the Big Apple, but that just
Oh, hi, Mark. Oh,
this
sorry. Wait.
petulant child tantrums. Like you and I get good and mad, but we tend to, get angry. We don't fucking start huffing and puffing and drop down like a kid in the fucking cereal aisle in fucking Walmart.
And even that, it's that if there's something else out there that contradicts even stuff that we've said or how we think or whatever, we're willing to take it in and consider it and have a different idea and a different narrative on it and a different perspective.
Yes.
It's not just blind fandom on towards a preconceived, I know I mentioned it probably 2 or 3 times on Monday of people already had an outcome written, and when it didn't go the way that they wanted to, they threw a fit. They lost their mind. They didn't know how to handle it. When wrestling made them feel something again, and it wasn't happy feel goods.
Listen, the way last night ended reminded me of an Attitude Era Raw where, my favorite guy just got obliterated and they left it there. They just left the show with the hero annihilated. Now, people can say what they want about Vince, which we're going to get into,
Right.
or the booking choice, but one of the best wrestlers that ever existed just walked in the ring and decimated Cody. And if that was the NWO in the 90s, we all would have couldn't wait for the next episode.
Well, you saw his reaction and everything when he jumped. You called it. Yeah. When he sat there and snatched him up.
Yes. Sorry.
It's Cody's hard times, baby. He's got to go through some hard times. He's got to struggle because that goes back to like what you said even earlier and how when we were here watching the Royal Rumble, it felt like everything had been handed to Cody.
Yes.
A lot of people did feel that way. Now, granted, he did come back from the pec injury, what have you, and he was going to be a big star coming back over from AEW. He just had to do it.
Yeah.
But it did feel like he was the chosen one for that. So now if he has to work and build and he chases, like I think Excalibur mentioned about like Daniel Bryan or something like that, then you pull more in. That's your selling point.
Dude, and that's completely right. I think Bully said it best, and I retweeted it. And people have mixed emotions about Bully, but when he's right, he's right. I'll call a spade a spade. And he said, how would Dusty have booked it? And if you stop and think for a second and go, good question. How would he have booked it? Well, Dusty would have held that carrot on that stick for as long as possible. And guys like Dave LaGreca were, you'll never get a bigger moment than this. Motherfucker, WrestleMania 40 is around the corner. And if that one isn't big enough, 41, 42, they're all spectacles. So you're telling me we get back to this somehow. What if Cody Rhodes wins the Money in the Bank? There's an X factor that we're not talking about. We're just assuming that this will never be a big moment again.
Well, and I will just say real quick, is Indy cut a promo saying Roxy was going to get the first crack at the title, but now we've got Zoe Stark showing up and interrupting, saying I should jump the head of the line. But
I like it.
But even like say with a moment like with Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber, that was a gigantic moment this year in professional wrestling. Did anyone have that earmarked for that was going to be a big moment? You can make a big moment. Like even Hunter said it at the end of the press conference or during the press conference after night 2. We're just getting started. This is like the third inning on the Bloodline story, and everybody didn't want to listen to it. That's the thing is people got a lot of news that they didn't want. Everybody had a hard pill to swallow.
Now, the worst Raw in history, wrong, 100% wrong. It wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst one. We've watched tons of episodes of wrestling, Nick, and we found some fucking swamp water as we've gone along.
Was it the worst Raw after Mania?
Might be close.
That's I think part of it. I think it was a perfect storm for everything because, like we were just talking about with the Cody reaction, with the company just got sold. It wasn't a huge Raw after Mania. That felt like any other Raw that we've watched theoretically going forward, and everybody instantly just had to jump to, it's got to be Vince. Got to be Vince. Well, maybe Triple H can not always hit a home run. Not saying that, Triple H did that, because I think personally Vince was at the helm of that.
He was,
or at least very much had his fingerprints all over that, because they were still in LA.
Mhm.
B, so many, you can discount and question a few, but with so many production changes and everything that it seemed to have happened in that show throughout, before the show, during the show, etc., that screams Vince McMahon to me. And that's the one thing I've always hated, because you'd hear the stories of him tearing up the script last minute, right before we're about to go on and everything like that.
There you go. No, I agree with you, Nick. And again, that's it's hard to say that it wasn't. Now, if you're reading reports that are coming out that are saying they saw him there was reports that people are unhappy. The reports of the rewrites and coinciding with what we got in the end product, it's hard to deny that Vince was probably there doing it.
Right.
I will say this to some of the asses out there that want to go live and go, I told you all along. Wait a minute. If you've been preaching Vince never left, Vince, this is all Vince. So what? Vince did 7 months of good booking and then last night decided to fuck it up? No, the report was he's back. And when you get that report that he's back, you go live and you're like, oh, I told you he's back. I told you. Whoa. He can't be back and never left at the same fucking time. So let's clear that up real quick.
Fair enough. I will give you that. But where was it? Scott's asking, where can I find Dave's Meltdown? I think it's on their YouTube channel. You can watch that after us, or you can pop in our Discord and I'll show you the link and everything.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter as well. So
yeah, I'm sure if you just search on Twitter, baby crying, it'll probably be the first trending thing there.
His voice and the flailing. Can't do it. I can't do it.
To me, Vince very clearly was involved last night. To me, what's going to be the biggest telling sign is how SmackDown is, because that's when they go back traveling, when they're not in LA.
That's a weird thing. And a couple of people have mentioned this. If Vince is back in creative, he's going to be at SmackDown. It's not like fucking, like, people are like, well, he was in LA, so he just decided to fuck with Raw. But what do you mean? Like, I mean, if he's back at it, he's going to follow them. Like, I can't imagine him.
I don't think he's going to, honestly. I literally think it was in part because he was in LA. He was, fuck it, just let him have it.
That's the weirdest shit ever. Like,
well, no, so you think that he's fully back in charge of creative right now?
I don't know. That's why I've been inquiring. I've been asking questions. I've been bugging everybody with this shit. I can't argue with the fact that he definitely ran last night. And if he's running last night, that means to me he's back, and we should expect not great things for the company moving forward. Why would Vince do a one-off?
Because it's Vince McMahon and he does what the fuck he wants with his fucking company, I feel.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, and it's also, maybe it was literally of a come to the tree out, Vince, show us what you can do, right? Since we just signed this deal, we come to the merger and everything like that. Let's see how your process is. And now they're probably, and I know how you're going to probably feel about this, but they're probably at least a little bit, if I'm Endeavor, and that's the first thing that I get under Vince McMahon, WWE, and I get it's a bit of the IWC backlash. It's a bit of the smarkiness, and it wasn't terrible. But when you have everybody in the palm of your hand and you don't deliver on that at all, that to me is an issue. And that's to me what raise an eyebrow when I just spent $9 billion on this company.
Yeah, but they don't. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to break this to the IWC. The billionaires do not give a flying fuck what any of us think. I hate to break your hearts, IWC.
Speaking of flying fucks, we have Pretty Deadly right now. But
they don't
run that in there.
Right? They don't give a shit. And this is why ratings were the highest since 2020. So even if we all fucking hated it, we all tuned in. The building was full. They did 161,000 people at Mania. That's what they give a fuck about.
But do the ratings stay, though? If this is what keeps going, with you saw that the way this goes,
it was like that
the
for
snowball's
years.
already rolling. So
was like
why
that
not
for
try and
years.
circumvent it?
But I mean, again, they know who Vince is. Vince did shitty booking for a decade. The fucking tens, like from 2010 to 2021, it was fucking horrible. There was very little to be happy about in that decade. Which I mean, the fact that there's younger fans almost blow my mind sometimes. But Vince didn't give a shit. So if he did work himself back into this, my mind's blown. And if I was everybody, Triple H, the wrestlers, the refs, just everybody up and fucking quit. That will send a message to an Endeavor. It's all about the bottom line at the end of the day. As long as people are buying merch, showing up to the events, like I said, and this is going to sound really harsh, people, hold on tight. Dana White slapped the shit out of his wife in public and didn't blink. They just moved forward. Oh, we're good. That's what the statement was. We shouldn't have done that. We were a little drunk. My bad. Which fine. I'm not judging. Whatever. Do you, boo boo? But Endeavor didn't fire him. Endeavor didn't release him. Endeavor didn't fix anything. They just basically rehired or incorporated themselves with a guy with a fucking file full of sexual indiscretions. We're all rich. Let's trade money. That's it.
Does Vince not then though still? And I guess I can't. We've talked about this earlier, and I really kind of oddly can't counter that well. But does Vince not, as an executive president, executive CEO, whatever his title is, as an executive within this merger, does he not have other duties than to just be sitting back there at Gorilla telling Seth Rollins, no, we're going to change your promo on the fly, kid?
He does. That's the sad part. Like, that's why
I'm so then let him go and do that. He was already there. He won't be there. Go back to fucking Stanford. Go do that.
100%. That's what I wish he would do. I wish he would retire. I wish he would go sit on a park bench with Johnny Laurinaitis and watch some sunsets. Like, I don't give a shit. Why are you here? I completely agree with everybody. I don't get it, but it's Vince. It's his. He made the company worth in his head $9.3 billion. You do whatever the fuck I want, and that's what he's doing. If this is the case, if he was running the show last night, I can't imagine in my mind that it's a one-off. I can't.
I think SmackDown, either way, whether you agree or disagree, is going to be the real litmus test of if Vince is in charge of creative. Now, everybody's already jumped full sail off the ship of, granted, I'll finish my point and then you can get to that comment because I think you literally agree with exactly what A-Town's saying there. Yeah. But SmackDown's going to be the real litmus test on whether we're truly going in what feels like a Vince era, if the snowball is still going, or if that was just all right, Vince, you had your moment, go back and go do some stuff in Stanford. Paul's head of creative. So, but
yeah, you're completely, and I completely agree with you. I don't have a whole lot of argument with that. I mean, Friday is going to be a very watched show. I think at this point, they should just create a storyline between Vince and Hunter and get it over with. That's the story. Vince versus Hunter. Pick your wrestlers. We're going to war.
Fully a Vince guy? No, don't do that. Oh, and then Hunter's a Cody guy. He just coded Hunter babyface turns.
Yeah. Hunter is the babyface in this story.
Yeah.
By the way, I know we're rambling, folks, and I know everyone's riveted by NXT. We will take your predictions on Tony D'Angelo and Pretty Deadly right now. They're in the ring. The match is going. It's a good pace. I hope you guys are enjoying it. But as you can see, a lot of people.
We tend to have there's a little bit more craziness going on with Walt Disney, Kennedy, McMahon.
What is with that fucking mustache, bro? What is he doing with this mustache?
He's having. Can you have two midlife crises?
I
know the man's almost 80, so is he like? Well, I mean, when you look like you could live a fucking century,
he's on the verge of a post-slave crisis. What is he doing?
And that's what this is, post-life crisis.
Right? Yeah, right.
That's what it is. Hunter's just been weekends at Bernie's this whole time. We've never have someone get some sunglasses on Vince.
Right.
I swear it's weekend at Bernie's of just so when if the fans don't like it, see, no, it was Vince the whole time. He's like his fucking Dr. Jekyll to his Mr. Hyde.
Right. And listen, Vince looks like he's wearing a mask of Vince. Like that. It's the weirdest.
Well, he's a Gomez Adams. I saw somebody saying he's the Tapatio guy.
Throw out your Vince comparables. I got Vince Price. We got
Walt Disney.
So many. Walt
Gomez
Disney.
Adams. Tapatio.
Tapatio killed me. I died at Tapatio. Caught me at a real good point in the J. I was like, guys,
he's just in the bag like, put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby.
Right. I loved Raw. See, we were here live, and so I can't lie. If you guys want to go back and watch how we felt about everything, again, sometimes we look completely stupid. I have no problem with that. We're just kind of shooting from the hip. And
maybe I was born this way.
Right? I wanted Cody to win. He didn't win, but I wasn't mad that he didn't win because I thought, all right, now what? What's chapter 2? Right? Like, what's the sequel? Where would Die Harder now? Let's go. Right? And people are going to go, the sequels are never better. So
I cite you. What was it? Return of the Jedi or the Empire Strikes? Whichever was the second Star Wars. Piss off.
I said that yesterday. I couldn't remember. But that all being said, I thought the opening was really good. And Brock coming out, I know people are like, oh, that's fucking Vince booking. But Brock coming out should have been like, oh my God. And I think we're too focused on who's booking it and not what's happening in front of us. I don't care if a group of chimpanzees writes the show. It just entertained me. Same thing with AEW we talk about. I don't care if Tony's the booker. Just book it well and let me enjoy it. But
and it goes back to a bit of like what we're talking about, even with Cody not winning, of everybody has, and now this is where it gets the line blurry, of everybody has an expectation for the Raw after Mania. As for a Raw after Mania, that sucked. That sucked ass, where the biggest surprise return was Brock Lesnar, who we saw last night. But as for a regular episode of Monday Night Raw, it was mid. It wasn't horrible. It snowballed because people expected more, obviously, understandable. And it snowballed because people were already upset because of, like I said, because Cody lost, because they had sold the company, because of this, that, and the third, because you're hearing reports from this, that, and the third that so-and-so is upset backstage, morale's low, Vince is doing this. Vince is,
sorry, bro.
No, you're good. Pretty Deadly picks up the win.
I think we're seeing the demise of the family, buddy. All 2 of them.
All 3 of y'all. No, that's the thing, is they've really only had a few major wins. They won a lot like when WWE did the FBI and everything like that.
Yeah.
The full-blooded Italians, to where they would every now and then get a win, maybe a half a push, and then back to taking some L's, boys.
Oh, he hit the exposed turnbuckle. So they got duped into a roll-up, everyone's favorite move. Yeah, man, I gave the show a 6, and then I turn on like another channel, and I'm like, this is the worst show in Raw history. Man, I was live for the fucking wedding between Reggie and fucking Tamina and the Ninja and Dana. Like, I was live for that, and you're gonna tell me what I got last night was worse? I mean, fuck, it was horrible overall, but it was like the section was. The ending was fucking amazing. No one saw that coming, except this guy. I think I got it, but like, it really was crazy, right? But instead of being like, "Oh my God, that was such a twist in the story," people are like, "Oh, they did it before. We'll do it again," right? I mean, what are we going to do?
Well, by the way, we do have a video package right now of the JC Jade and Gigi Dolan feud, which JC cost Gigi the women's title at Stand and Deliver. But Excalibur brings up a good point. If you think about it logically, how much further could Happy Brock go for?
I liked Happy Brock.
Yeah, but where does he go after that? Like, who does he face now? He goes after Roman again?
You got a good point. You really do. I kind of hope. Part of me was like, oh man, just have Roman and Brock shake hands, and we're like, we're gonna keep this belt for 5 years, and nobody's gonna touch us. Here, you have one. Let's high five.
I think it was somebody said a 2-man power trip.
Yeah, right. Oh, you're
sorry, I gotta take over now. You got the die jacket in there. Yeah, we need to do it. Going to have the die jacket in there. I fucked that up. But we're gonna have the Dijacinator, yeah. Who's he facing? Yeah, he's taking Apollo. Or Odyssey Jones, sorry.
Oh,
Fuck.
so they're running the whole Sin City vibe with them. That's what this is.
Yeah.
I like the entrance. I hate the look.
Mick saying Raw was terrible.
Terrible. It was terrible.
What the Richard? I think you're just like zero news. You just like kind of throw things out there and just hope they stick.
Now, still people with this whole story, they're doing this thing where again, Meltzer says something out loud and it gets reported like an actual quote, like a headline. The WWE is losing all its people because the Meltzer's like, I think people might want to quit if Vince was in charge, and it becomes a headline.
It is interesting though with the whole Bailey thing though that they didn't. She wasn't mentioned on commentary.
I'm scared for that.
Yeah, that's to me what scares me a little bit. To me, what I think it could be, and what I'm hoping it is that she's done with damage control, and that they're gonna bring her back, repackage her, what have you. But again,
babyface.
Everybody right now wants a predisposed outcome that they've already made up in their head.
Yeah.
So everybody's now got to read the tea leaves and create this narrative to get where they already figured it was going to go.
Yeah, and I got more to add to that because it happens to both companies. It's not fair. But right now we got Odyssey Jones taking on Dijak, two big men. This is like Keith Lee, Dijak 4.
Yeah, we've got the two big beefinators.
The beefinators?
Beefinators, and I was like, wait, no, that might be trademarked from fucking Wendy.
That's the trademark you're worried about on this show?
What? I need some Wendy's, goddammit. I can't be not allowed in my Wendy's. I'm fucking
banned from Wendy's.
I can't be banned from Wendy's. I just sounded like the fattest motherfucker ever.
It's all right, man.
Munchies in full effect. Oh, Dijak on the outside. Hopefully he didn't break his finger.
Dijak for the win. Dave.
Yeah, who you got?
I'm going to take Odyssey's good, man. I think he's underutilized. I'll go Dijak for whatever reason.
You're not going Arby's Beefinator Jones?
Beefinator Jones? Arby's. It's funny that you called it Arby's to avoid what
we have the meat. Well, we got big beefy boys slapping meat. Pause.
Dude, you can't bring up Arby's. It gives me weird visuals.
Anyways, I know where you went. Trust me, that was not missed on me, sir.
Good. I didn't think it would be.
2 count after a big power slam from Odyssey.
Yeah, this whole narrative of like this is what's supposed to happen. Like, are the people who are freaking the fuck out right now? Are you the same people that like absolutely quit on a team when they don't win the championship? Like you cheer for them all the way to the Super Bowl, and then they lose the Super Bowl, and you're like, "Oh, I'm never fucking cheering for this team again. This league sucks. I hate this league. They didn't give my team the trophy." It's not how it's supposed to work. Sometimes
no, but I will say, I think specifically as having the American perspective on this channel, that I feel like you can find that at times with certain aspects of certain systems within the U.S. If you read between the lines of what I'm trying to say here, you already have a predisposed outcome in your head.
Yeah.
So you create a false narrative to get to that outcome.
Yes.
But Jason saying we're getting Indy versus Zoe Stark for the World Championship tonight. I'll have to double check if that's going on.
I think it is, or at least they're having beef. I think Zoe Stark's great. So, hey, this could be one of those cases where Zoe wins and Indy just got her moment, like the Cardona.
Now, here's a side question.
Oh!
Dijacinator! Big moonsault.
Oh, Dijak with the moonsault win.
2, 3.
He won the moonsault.
Halfway across the ring with that moonsault.
When was the last time? Oh, I guess who's the other one? EO does a moonsault, right? Like
well,
not many people win with moonsaults anymore.
Princess of the Sky,
right?
But no, well, I always like Dijak's with the feast your eyes and everything. Of this is a match that you could see more on a Monday Night Raw. I feel than on an NXT.
Yeah. I like them. I like them both. I like them both.
You have grown men on Monday Night Raw. They feel like they're giants amongst, the Lollipop Guild a bit at times on NXT.
His knee was that close to that man's face. Like he got thigh in the face.
Oh, yeah.
2-0 says Curtis. Good. 2-0 says Dale. Larry 2-0. Great mood at Tribute Moonsault. There you go. No, the thing about you were saying about this, like the preconception and the desire, Tony Khan has felt the wrath of that because he was hot shot booking, which good news is it might be open season on WWE wrestlers very soon again, Tony. Get your checkbook ready.
Yeah.
It might be the second fucking blitz. However, when Tony was hot shotting a lot, fans were just loving it. But then he'd do a pay-per-view and there was no big return at the end, big reveal. Oh, that pay-per-view wasn't great. What do you mean? We just watched 3 hours of great wrestling. Yeah, but no one came back. Like he didn't surprise us. Well, now you're setting the norms, right? So we as fans got to get that out of our heads. Like if you go to a movie and you're like, oh my God, that was a twist ending. I hated it. I didn't see it coming. That's not what we say. So why do we say it in wrestling? We're not supposed to see it coming. This big groundswell of all this hatred for the WWE, whether we like it or not, that's what they are supposed to generate. They're supposed to piss everybody off with what happened last night. They want people freaking out because eventually when Cody beats Brock, we'll celebrate together. That's the hope.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, in the fan's eye, or I should say in the mark's eye, we'll differentiate that way. Does NXT tonight outperform or outdeliver Monday Night Raw after Mania?
It depends. It's on a scale, right? So far, so good. We're off to an entertaining start. We're getting a couple good matches. So, yeah, I mean, as far as being entertained by the show, maybe.
Well,
Wednesday's got a shot.
I agree. Look at the fans of Game of Thrones. But this is what all this feels like. And I feel like we've all said this. We've all said this on the channel multiple times.
Right?
This is dun, 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 dun. This is Game of Thrones 100%. This is Succession. This is fucking any sort of cutthroat reality show.
Right. Shane is Joffrey. Fucking.
It's just, you're just going to start fan casting.
Fan casting. Steph is, what's her face? Joffrey's mom.
Yeah. Boss, we did already talk about that. Right now, I think that's the scariest potential.
That tweet bothered me.
Looking elsewhere, but I hope not. I think she might just be more done with Damage Control. Maybe they just change her up, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Right. Yeah, man. That tweet she put out though, like it hit home, and it had feel to it. Like I know it was just a few words, but she could have said anything, and it was just very poetic.
But is it reading the tea leaves a bit?
It could be. That's what I love about all of this. And I know I was poking you and CJ earlier today, and CJ said I was losing my fucking mind, but I kept saying, prove that Vince was a gorilla, and they're like, they reported it, and I'm like, who reported it? And they're like, these guys are reputable. I'm like, prove it. They're like, but they said, and then these wrestlers said, what wrestlers? Prove it. Nobody can prove shit. Everything is speculation. Everything. Now, granted, I get it. If a place like PWI has multiple people saying they saw Vince with the headset on and then Vince fucked up the show, I believe it. However, prove it.
Well, and it's also, though, when it's Uncle Dave and everything, at times it feels like there's a little bit of an AEW tinge to it of here, let me put out something. So if you're out there and you're looking towards jumping shipper, you got to still watch your pro wrestling, but you just, to hell with Vince. He mad Cody lose. Boo earns, boo you and your mustache. Then you jump ship over to AEW and, oh, well, Jay White's not a lock for WWE anymore. And we've got a big announcement.
Funny.
Yeah, and guess who's the only source on that? And guess who's the only source that has come out and outright said that Vince is fully back in charge of creative? That hasn't just said, yes, Vince did have involvement in Monday Night Raw's creative.
Of course, the biggest flag waver of them all. And Dave Meltzer loves jumping all over the WWE. Meltzer, where's all the stories about the unhappy AEW wrestlers? Meltzer, where's all the fucking the ratings and the critiques of matches like Britt Baker versus Anna Jay? Hey, Meltzer, where's the real criticism on people like the Bucks or having being honest about a 7-match series that fucking drained the life out of the show for over 12 weeks? Where's all that, Dave? But Dave lives for this. Oh, the WWE's fucking up. All right, Aldo. He's like the gatekeeper at Noah's Ark for fucking Tony. 2x2. Let's go.
Yeah, he's the ultimate smart. He's out there. Tony, he's our man. If he can't overbook it, no one can.
That guy has no fucking credibility, period. None.
But that's the thing is when you're a guy like Tony, how do you get your narrative out without it meaning coming from you? You get quote unquote the most credible or the most known, the longest doing it wrestling journalist to just report nothing but positive stories for AEW. And that's not saying that, we're just outright hating of, everything's wrong with AEW. But to literally have the narrative focused so much in one direction and so blatantly.
Such a slant. You read all the stories. And I said, I told you, I wasn't lying. Reading all the stories. I want to hear everyone's perspective on this situation. And some people I respect said really fucking smart things today. Like, it's business. Things don't just happen in a lickety split. Like, there's a process and da-da-da-da-da-da. And, well, he was lying. He said he wouldn't be in the weeds, and we found him in the weeds. Look, he found me in the weeds all fucking day. And that doesn't mean shit. Doesn't prove anything. We don't know. Everything's based on speculation. Until Vince or Triple H comes out, listen, I'm waiting for the announcement Triple H has left the company. That will tell me all I need to know. Because he's not going to have your dad's going to give me a heart attack again, Steph. I can't do it.
Yeah, if he walks or is out, game over, man.
Yeah, game over.
That's what it would be. Excalibur says the romance novel for Bailey is a reference to her and her friends. She has referenced it before for months and months. It's not new. Watch Helwani interview. Fair play. But we've got the debut of Dragon Lee, by the way, on TV, as we also had Gallus come out with the returning Joe Coffey. But we've got Dragon Lee versus Nathan Frazier. So give us your predictions in the chat, and why is it Dragon Lee in his debut match on NXT?
Let's go. Battleground, May 28th.
But like you were saying, though, of looking to try and find every way to look at this and being somebody that rather than blind faith of this is the narrative that I want of Bully hates the fucking what chant. I do nothing but the goddamn what chant and everything.
He hates me to my core.
Right. He literally hates me for being me. And then I literally even said on our group chat and was the one sharing all of Bully's quotes and comments and everything about that. I gave the man credit earlier, and you even retweeted it. You were talking about it too. Yeah. It's guys that when you find people and you're willing to take in other opinions and other facts and everything like that that's when you again, what the fuck? They keep making me think that his entrance is glitching.
Did you see that?
It looks like a goddamn fever dream. Like,
dude,
listen, when I'm on this many vitamins, you can't just randomly
you need a vitamin
Mortal Kombat images at me and to make sure I'm not like I wake up and I've just been sitting here with the Xbox controller the whole time.
Give me a seizure over here. What the fuck are you doing?
Do
you think Cody? Oh, sorry. What's the last thing you said? Actually, we got distracted by the glitch.
No, we were who just jumped the rail. By the way,
wait. Oh, hey, is that who I think it is? It is.
Oh my god,
is that Noam Dar?
Is that Noam Dar?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what the hell?
Who is this lost frat boy? Is Chase?
I was like, I was halfway looking like, all right, so security should be whooping his ass any minute now.
I'm right. We're right? Like that is Noam.
Right. Somebody fact check us, please.
What trophy did he win? It's beautiful. Oh,
it's probably from NXT UK because that existed. But Scott, thank you very much for the super chat. By the way, I know we've probably missed half a dozen comments and everything like that, but folks, we do have the super chat, the super stickers. We got anything and everything. If you want to make sure you get a point across, make sure we read your comment, or if you just want to help support the channel, absolutely. So drop those super chats. We do still have the Discord, the merch store, and we're here doing this any day and every day. What
happened to Vicky? Why is she canceled?
I'm not sure.
What did she do?
I was gonna say, I know she's leaving AEW already, so she can't be. How can you be fired for after you quit?
Okay. Noam Dar looks so freaking different when he first walked up. Noam's back.
Well, no, it's just been that long since we've seen him.
Yeah, but I didn't remember with the big bushy hair.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, right? Like, what the fuck? I hadn't seen him in a minute.
This
Do you
is
think
very
Joe
much.
Coffey is next in line for a title shot, by the way?
Oh, not. No, you have him.
Too soon?
I would almost want to see a feud with him versus Braun.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Big beefy boy slapping meat again, because that's the thing is Carmelo just won. I don't know if you feed him. Like, it's one of those of at times you got to have somebody that he's going to go over a little bit before he gets into the big feud, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fair enough. I like Gallus a lot, so I'm really curious to see what happens here. Has there been any word about NXT Europe or any type of movement on that? I haven't heard any.
When you're in the middle of selling the whole company, I think NXT UK is not your most important endeavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they got rid of NXT UK and was supposed to be NXT Europe, but I still think that's planned for like 2024, 2025. But we've got Dragon Lee versus Nathan Frazier. So give us your predictions if you haven't done so already, or if you want to just let us know at this point what you think about what the hell is going on with WWE. To me, like you were talking about Tony Khan, if you have a big announcement and everything, and you've already built it up, now is your time. Like you said, it's him and Vince are back there. Tony with the goofy hair and Vince with the mustache. So Wabbit season, duck season, Wabbit season, duck season.
Tony, if you ever wanted to steal some fans, man, hit a home run tomorrow.
You call up Phil right now and just say, "Hey, I know you don't like Kenny and the Bucks, but how much more do you dislike Hunter and Phil?"
Right?
Or
how much
Hunter
do you hate
Vince? Yeah,
that might work. That might work.
Fuck. And then that's your big announcement, or your big announcement is you signed Jay White.
Now, to me, I don't know. Again, like for us, it's huge,
right? But that's the thing is, I think the people that are outraged about Monday Night Raw, the Raw after Mania not being good, a good chunk of that are the same people that know who Jay White is, because, like we've said, it's the IWC, it's the Smart Mark fans that knew, that noticed, that have a subscription to Fightful, that know what quote unquote Raw was supposed to be. Shout out Chris. And then when it didn't go that way, then they're already looking for the Vince signs. They've already got that, like we keep saying, the preconceived notion.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be as big, but it would be.
Yeah.
I think it would win you back a few.
Yeah.
It would be another thing for sure.
Yeah. I think one thing that really, 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 really got under my skin about all this, and folks, I'll take a second just to remind everyone out there, we are the Wrasslin for Life Network. We do this all the time. Tonight, we're kind of heated about all the IWC and all the Vince news and the merger news, which I have some questions about that as well. But folks, like, subscribe, share. We have been on a record-breaking roll over the last little bit here. So thank you for that. Keep it coming. Keep the love coming. We're here tonight for NXT. We'll be back tomorrow for Dynamite, Thursday, Ring of Honor, and Impact. Friday, we got Rampage and SmackDown. It does not stop, folks.
Tonight's the Hollywood Hangover edition.
Yeah, no kidding. Last night felt like a hangover.
That, and it felt like the movie The Hangover. If I was just waiting for, there's Mike Tyson with a fucking tiger and shit.
Right. No, I think like we forget a bunch of things, and everything gets twisted in all this, dude. We're like, Cody's gonna get buried. Vince McMahon flew to sign Cody. Like, Vince McMahon made sure Cody Rhodes signed. I don't think he's gonna bury him. I think I don't trust his booking, but it's just it blows my. Oh, that's what I was saying though. What was really driving me nuts is all these guys that kept, and girls that kept saying, "This is Vince. This is Vince. That was Vince. That was Vince." But however, we told you Vince is back. And it was just driving me nuts of like episode or show after show. They go out there and say Vince is involved and Vince is fucking this up and that up. But we got all this, like, how many mega pops do we have? The Rey Mysterio pop, the Sammy pop, the Bloodline pops. Like, the crowd was highly invested going into Mania. It wasn't like the booking
going into Mania, yes.
Right? So
The night after Mania, not so much.
Now, Monday was the first time I was like, oh, yeah, that could be Vince. We highlighted Brock Lesnar and Omos. Yep, that sounds like Vince. Like, shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that's what raised a lot of red flags for people. And I guess Hachu. But no, after you pull up the Chris comment, I do want to just touch on this, because this is why I love our little
Fam Jam
and still expanding community, because we've got Steve saying congratulations to Chris. We've got Unbroken saying good luck, Chris. Don't let them intimidate you about your jabs. Well, they're always going to be better than Shane McMahon's. Just remember that. And he didn't tear your quad, but Dale saying good luck. So yeah, we got a nice little fam jam.
I like it. Good luck, Chris. Big shout out to everyone else. I hope you guys are all having a good week. But Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier down, coming back from the break.
Absolutely. Now, Dragon Lee's a guy that I'm surprised did not win the North American Championship. And we were here, obviously, for Stand and Deliver before WrestleMania Night 1. And that 5-way for the North American Championship, which Dragon Lee was in, probably was one of the matches of the weekend, I would say, at least top 5.
Yeah. Pardon me. That was one of my favorite matches of the week.
This man's having to run through like 20 matches right now in about 10 seconds in his head.
Yeah, no, it was, I'd say top 5 is fair. I think it might be 5. I found it really interesting. A lot of people who were like, well, you know what? Charlotte and Rhea should have been the main event. Like, you guys are fucking assholes. You cannot please this wrestling.
I see there's no pleasing you.
None. And it did great, but it would have been overshadowed by the story that existed. And you know what? I loved Rhea and Charlotte. Barn burner, one of the best women matches I've seen in a long time. But I also really loved that tag match and how it all played out. I loved it.
Well, and I see Unbroken brings up a good comment that I want to talk about. Granted, we've got still Nathan Frazier versus Dragon Lee as big drop kick, but what do you think about Charlotte Flair now taking some time off, quote unquote?
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, because Charlotte knows I'm either in the title picture or I'm not in the picture. And that's how it's been for a long time with Charlotte. Lose the title, go away, come back, win the title, lose the title.
2 count.
She tends not to fuck around in the middle very often, Nick.
She just came back, though. That's the thing. Like, I get what you're saying, but it's one of those of like, you just got back, like, and you're, I'm back on vacation again. No, maybe you stay in and you put some work in and you help, because you could run it back with her and Rhea. 100% do those two again the third time.
Do it at Backlash just to solidify.
SummerSlam at earliest,
right?
But you could build that back around.
Did Dragon Lee cheat? Unbroken said Dragon Lee cheated already.
I have no idea. He's half the time, just talking. But you guys think if WWE goes to ESPN, we get a WWE embedded type show. But that does bring up a good. He hit. I know it was Alberto Del Rio. Used to hit. I hate that man, but I can't remember what he called it.
I hate that.
River kick.
I hate that finisher.
Damn. But still, Nathan Frazier just super kicked. Dragon Lee's getting masked into the front row. 2.
Wow, I thought it was over.
This is a good match.
You hear what Booker just said? This is a
main event. Duck it, quack, quack.
Good guess. Good guess.
Show me potato salad. Oh,
what a match.
But this is why, though, like, could you imagine what we got on Monday Night Raw with Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, Ray, we've got Santos up there. If you had Dragon Lee involved with the Rey Mysterio whole situation, and we really grew out the LWO right now, 2 count. Oh, my God. Wow, I thought that was it. Legitimately thought that was it. So I was talking on a whole nother point of yep, you got it. You won.
We're getting NXT chants. I miss those. This is excellent. Hey, Hunter. Hey, Vince.
But that's what I was just saying. This could be the LWO right now with Dragon Lee.
Listen, man.
Shining Wizard.
It's over.
3.
Wow.
Tegan
Dragon
Knox
Lee
just called and
Noem should
said
be
she
good.
wants her Shining Wizard back, but
Yeah, no kidding.
and so now we're gonna set up Dragon Lee versus Noam Dar.
It feels that way. Unless Noem picks on Nathan
Fraser.
But like we all know, we joked that I kind of quit NXT, moved to Thursdays. Man, I haven't seen a match that good on Thursdays in a minute, other than the Crazy Steve Monsters Ball match. That was outstanding. Highly recommend that match if anyone missed that one. Crazy Steve and Trey Miguel.
Oh yeah.
Worth a watch. But this was an outstanding match. One of the best NXT matches
we've already got. Great match, 5-star match, all of that.
We throw 5 stars out too much. Meltzer's got that all fucked
at
up.
this point, 5 stars is a low rating from Meltzer.
That's
at this point, 5 stars is a mid rating,
right?
But
Chase you.
Now it's going to be interesting. What do we see of Schism after the Grizzly Young Veterans have been allegedly, reportedly, supposedly? They've at least asked for it. I feel like they've been granted because I've seen them both share. They've tweeted out like them back as like the Grizzly Young Veterans and everything.
Okay, because what I originally had heard was they were asked for the release, and the only person I had read that said that it was granted was Meltzer. Go figure. Now, I don't know if that has changed, but at the last I saw, there's no official word that they've been released. It was just bad reporting again.
Still, though, I'm amazed
they're on the way out.
Nobody has ever like done it to where someone is allegedly released and then they show up that night on the show. That's like, all right, fine, Q and your dirt sheets. Just get super aggro about it, but we've got a Chase segment, Chase U segment right now backstage.
Right.
And I did pop for that whole moment to where Duke turned and then did the Hulkamania out of the Schism shirt.
Right. NXT Stand and Deliver was an outstanding pay-per-view, and it was the first pay-per-view in a long time that felt like a takeover.
Yes, and to me, it outdid Supercard of Honor easily.
I'd agree. And I mean, again, you went through you've had an interesting week because it started off on Friday when like Eddie gets buried and we're like, fuck. Mark doesn't win. We're like, fuck. Like it just.
Thank you for that, like flashback here.
Thanks for the walk down memory lane, Cage.
Hey, exactly. I had pushed those thoughts out of my mind, but up next we're getting Indy Hartwell versus Zoe Starks for the NXT Women's Championship. Does Indy have a one-day reign? She's the Kane of NXT Women's Championships. She just has a one-day reign.
If Indy loses this match, the first thing will be tweeted will be, "Told you Vince is back."
Right, Vince even pushed Sean out now.
Right, Bruce did this. Bruce.
But that's the thing is Hunter has a built-in scapegoat.
Yeah.
Hunter could book a bad show, and everybody, no matter what, as long as Vince is alive, they'll think that it could have been Vince McMahon booking it.
We don't man. I don't know shit. I want to know more, man. I want to know more. It's pissing me off. I want more pieces of the puzzle so we can make a more educated opinion on everything. I know people like to turn on their streams and yell at the mic, and that's fact because they yelled it really loud. But I want to know more. Like I kind of want to say it's fucked and argue, but I don't know enough.
Right, but still, and again, I hate to keep making these comparisons, but again, still as the American here out of the two of us, it feels very fitting that, again, the ones that instantly think they're right about a preconceived notion and a narrative that they built up are just the ones that think if they just yell louder, they sound smarter and that they're more correct. Wrong on both accounts.
I told you he never left. I told you. And tonight he came back. Wait, what?
Are the same ones that were saying "Ding dong, the witch is dead" when he was getting pushed out.
Right. So it is what it is, man. I agree with you though. If Endeavor feels like Vince's presence is going to fuck up the whole company, well, they probably are going to have second thoughts about Vince in that role. I mean, there is internally, you have to care about his presence. As far as the fans being upset, they don't care what the reviews are, as long as people keep showing up, and that's what we all do.
But I will just touche on that, tabernacle on that. I want to just get back to a bit of the point as we are in commercial break about how this is a moment for Tony Khan, because we do have AW Dynamite coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah,
man. Again, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We were here for 20 some odd plus hours, had 20 some odd plus thousand views and everything during WrestleMania weekend. It's been a hell of a fucking ride. Like I said, tonight feels like the Hollywood Hangover, but we're back at it still. The grind keeps going. Like Triple H said, we ain't going nowhere. And it's so funny, by the way, that people thought that was him quitting. But anyways, but
yeah, the people that proposed that was him like saying goodbye. He said the complete fucking opposite, and he didn't even exclude himself from it. He was like, we are going to do this. He almost said, we are NXT. Like, he was there. Like, I truly believe if what happened the way it was happening, I don't think Hunter was prepared to be pushed out of the chair. But then I also can't see Vince just sitting down next to him being like, get going. I can't. Like, it seems too hokey. Unless half an hour before they pulled Triple H aside and said, I got this one, man. Like, maybe, but just a bully strong arm, is that real?
But so you don't, well, I'll touch this comment first. If you guys are WrestleManiacs, just because I want to do the Hulk Hogan like swim back promo thing that he did and everything. What you gonna do, brother, when these 24 vitamins run wild on you? But no, I think that
these 24 vitamins.
The cerebral assassin, the King of Kings, may have just sat there and said, go ahead, Vince. We're in LA. You can have that. You have your last moment, because once they see what the fuck you do, they ain't going to want you to book a goddamn thing ever again. So you do you, and you can yes and no and be involved in the big picture, but you're here. So fuck, I'm stuck with you. So have at it, big guy. Of just accepted his input and everything of just fine. Fuck it.
To me, that sounds
here. I'm stuck with you. Like, you've never done something just like that you didn't want to do just because you had that friend that was around that wouldn't fucking piss off. And so you're like, fine, we'll do what you want to do just because I don't want to listen to you, bitch.
Yeah, but again, yeah, I guess it just in my head it seems so ridiculous. Like, that's
the WWE. It's built on ridiculous.
Fucking,
yeah. The only thing it's missing is Rob Dyrdek.
Right, okay. Valid. Touche or Tabernacle.
Tabernacle, folks. And speaking of Tabernacles, we have Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. I damn near almost blended their names together in the Tabernacle.
I'd be okay with it.
Isla Fire and Alba Dawn.
Isla Dawn.
No. Welcome to Ginger Pop.
Isla Dawn.
And it's just bagpipes because they're both Scottish.
Listen, big fan of Isla.
Isla, goddammit.
I know, I'd have to learn her name before the first name.
Right. He's gonna be like, hey, you don't even know my name. You're trying to take me out.
That was pretty good, actually.
KJ and Nick, I yelled and yelled, but no one heard except my 3 followers on social media. What? You yelled about what?
And that's not how social media works. Stop yelling. Stop yelling.
No, apparently, well, there's a fair amount of people that think if I talk louder than you, they can't hear your point to prove that I'm wrong.
You and I are exactly the quietest of fellows, and we've had some really good fucking temper tantrums on here. But I'd like to think we keep it in the realm of we kind of keep our dignity. Well, we do it most days, I hope. So I just don't get it. Why can't you convey your disappointment? I watch, you know what? If his name pops back in my head, I'll let you know. I watch the fellow podcaster, and I love how he just speaks to the people. I give him credit. He didn't like what happened with Raw, but he spoke to everybody and explained. Then you turn to another channel and guys are just fucking like in a basement, just going rah 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 rah. Like, breathe, bro, breathe.
Yeah, a little bit.
See, Isla Dawn, Isla Fire.
Isla Fire sounds like a bad place to vacation.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Based on
Well,
the TV
no,
screen,
that's when you add fest at the end of it. When you add fest, because then you combine Isla Nublar from Jurassic Park and you got Fire Fest combined there. So it'd just be the ultimate worst spot to vacation. I went way too far into that.
We just went on a trip with you, bro.
Come on and slide on the fantastic slide, slippery slide. Well, I've got Wesley backstage right now.
Wesley's done really good for himself.
You had something to say about the WWE embedded idea. Let's hear it. ESPN probably would take over any documentary ideas. I think they're good at it. ESPN maybe, but I think so. I had a friend at work who, well, actually, he's a friend of mine, but I work with him as well. But who? What?
I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
But he's more of an MMA fan, a UFC fan than at all ever a WWE fan or anything like that. But he knows obviously about us and everything like that. So he knew about the whole WWE merger because of the other end of the UFC merging together. And he asked, if I thought that more WWE or UFC fighters might try and take more of that WWE approach. And that's going to be the interesting question, I think, of beyond the Vince fucking creative and everything of that. Of now we have the UFC and WWE theoretically working together. Like again, Matt Riddle's boss is Dana White to an extent.
Yeah. But the real forbidden door.
Yeah, the forbidden octagon door.
Right.
But so do we see a blend over of maybe UFC takes WWE's production? You put WWE's production with the UFC, good God, good googly moogly, that's insane.
Yeah, no, hey, could you imagine we got UFC fighters with fucking WWE entrances?
Oh, absolutely. The first one that gets that is going to be Conor McGregor. You guarantee that. If he comes back, if Conor comes back like they're doing the Ultimate Fighter with him and Chandler, the one that's coming out with the pyro and everything is 100% the man that does the McMahon strut to the ring.
The one thing I really want Dana and or the UFC to rub off on WWE is that fight build, that fight feel, the kind of what AEW is trying to do, but with less success, where they really make you want to see that fight. When we're talking about some of the ESPN work and such, I mean, that's great, right? Like if you can kind of build it like that, it'd be interesting. I don't think there's going to be a shit ton of crossovers as far as just like they become one big blended thing. Like we talked about, Disney buys them and Mickey Mouse is going to show up. They bought wrestling to be wrestling, guys. They didn't buy wrestling to be something else. But I do think they could definitely, hey, we got WrestleMania coming up. Can you give me 3 of your big names? Yeah, absolutely.
They cut a promo or anything like that. Well, to me, I like it. And by the way, I'm broken. You can see my name. My name is Big Nick. But can the guy on the right bring down your highlights on glasses a tiny bit? Go a little higher in the light next time. Well, thank you for the production note, sir.
Speaking of the WWE,
I was gonna say, fucking Vince backstage, fucking slide me a production note right now, I guess. Man. But no, I'll try and adjust my light. But gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta work with what you got.
The critics are tough.
Yeah, been going hard in the paint here, I feel. But to me, it goes to a bit of, and I even said this that when you think of MMA, you think of UFC. When you think of pro wrestling, you think of WWE. Just like how when you think of an elastic bandage, you don't call it even that. You think of a Band-Aid. When people talk about pro wrestling, they think WWE. You talk MMA, it's UFC. So having those two under the same roof, you're not buying them to merge them. You're buying them just, I've got the top combat sports, athletic combat, however you want to phrase it, paired together.
Very true. I mean, again, there's a lot of interesting angles to this. I mean, White was quoted as saying, like, you know, oops, I think I just made a mess. Dana White was just quoted as saying that, he's all for it. He thinks it's cool. Dude, you got a $21 billion live sports company. Like, they got the world is their fucking oyster, right? Like, let's go. Like I said, I want
but
wrestling.
You got to pay that money back at some point.
Yeah, but it's all pretend.
It's all play money. It's all monopoly money.
Right, but I want to see like if they did a pay-per-view, like a fighter island, do a wrestler island where they're in fucking wherever they were.
WrestleMania Island. That's where WrestleMania 41 is going to be at. WrestleMania Island.
Right, this giant island full of people. It'd be like, a fancy bash at the beach.
Like WCW, yeah, exactly.
Right.
But they
not a Bush League?
Kevin Nash ain't jumping in no swimming pool.
Right.
But could you see them trying to adapt a bit more of that shooty feel from the UFC and everything?
Yeah, and that's what I want. I want that feel. And they tried to do it with when they went over to Riyadh, right? Like the press conference. And the wrestlers are getting each other's faces. And what I love about the WWE, like pressers, Triple H talks about business, the wrestlers stay in character. The wrestlers run as close to kayfabe as they can. They might let little personal feels about certain things out, but Roman doesn't walk out there and go, "Yeah, me and Cody have been working on this for a long time. We talked about it a lot. Cody's a great guy. I love working with him. Oh my God, yeah, we thought we worked the crowd really well." That's what we get somewhere else. I'm glad they don't do that. That Roman comes out and says, "I'm the best in the world. I'm praying or begging for someone to take this from me and step up." And you get that from him. That's the way it should be. MJF's another guy. Walks out, stays who he is, and leaves.
Yeah, it feels real.
Real. And that's what you want with the UFC. That's what you get with the UFC. That realism.
Right.
People that really don't like each other in the moment, they're going to pound this shit of each other. That's what we want to see.
Speaking of pounding the shit out of each other, we've got Zoe Starks and Indy Hartwell going at it right now. Unbroken, you're welcome, Big Nick. I'm a lighting guy and a photographer. Can't resist. Is your name CJ?
Yeah. Do you know our friend?
Right. Do you know our friend? So then here, Unbroken, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if my lighting is correct.
Nick's gonna take that to heart. Unbroken. He's gonna be up all night adjusting his shit because of you.
I really am. I really fucking am. Probably.
It's all right. I was getting a random dot sometimes, and it just happens, man. Listen, keep filling up the super chat. We want to upgrade the equipment, and you get less glare. We need some pro shit here.
We got to up the production value here. We got to compete now with the conglomerate that is WWE and UFC. WWFC.
Everyone's got to help me build the fucking Wrestling for Life studios on the border so we can hang out.
I just got to move literally. We got to have a studio specifically at the border,
right? Half and half on your side, half on my side, right?
And we got to make a deal with border control. Like we literally, border patrol. We're literally just like,
dude. If you watch the news, apparently not. People just walking across. Man, you patrol the Winnipeg. Nobody wants to be there, right, LJ? I'm just kidding. I'm watching.
We got Zoe. WW Oos. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. But now, as we are in commercial break again, but do you think, how do you feel that they've come out and said that the sale of WWE or the majority merger had no effect on the main event of WrestleMania 39?
I completely agree with that. I think what Bully said was spot on. How would Dusty book it? And you do the Dusty better than I do. So, but how would he book it? Like,
yes, baby, he's got to go through hard times right now, baby. And not to mention, he didn't sell them tickets, baby. You already went there because it was Hollywood. You thought you were going to get Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's what you thought. Like that to me is the part that I really like. Ding! I was like, light bulb clicked on. Of that's right. You build now that story, and I think we even mentioned it a little bit on either Mania Night 2 or WrestleMania about how part of this story was still getting the Sami Uso situation resolved, and the Kevin Owens storyline and how we dealt with that. And that's what made night one so great. Before we ever got to Roman versus Cody, that was really built in like the last month or so. If that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said this on the night of WrestleMania, and I said it on Monday, is you can't hate the company for the endings. You can't. You're not supposed to always like what happens. It's like I kind of thought about this today a little bit, but do you remember like the Nexus shows up and destroys everything? Destroys
Right.
Cena, da 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 da. I feel like the day after that happened, the IWC would be like, "Oh my God, how could they do this? These are nobodies. We don't even know them. How could this happen?"
Yeah, times, yeah.
Instead of just being like, "Holy fuck, what is this? I better tune in next week." Right? What if we tune in on Friday and they tell us Cody's going to fight Brock at Backlash in a cage? People are going to show up to watch that. They can bitch all they want. They'll show up no matter who's in charge. We're going to boycott. Oh, shit. Now I'm yelling.
Right, yeah. Why don't you take yourself a little pause for the call? Your tone's a little aggressive, sir. You're getting a little loud. So why don't you just, have a pause and you think about what happened there. Yeah, you woosah. I need you to just do woosah right now. But absolutely, folks, we've still got, like I said, we've got Indy versus Zoe Starks right now. And I see Unbroken. Don't know CJ, but did the Biggie Smalls Clown portrait years ago, was first assistant for Baron Claiborne. Well, fair enough then. So, like I said, you still didn't let me know, yes or no, if I'm, I guess, good with the visuals. And that's, again, folks, like I said, if we got the super chats, if you want to make sure we get your comments, we read them, you get your point across, or if you just apparently want to help with the production value around here, keep the lights on and all that. But so Unbroken, I guess, reach out. You see our socials and everything with that. You can be my lighting guy. Smart Mac. I almost keep wanting to read it like Smart Mark. Conor McGregor need to come to WWE. Well, we already had Ziggler out there trying to call him out, but Zoe misses with the big splash off the top rope. Dominic Dijak wasting him right now. Yeah, I think there's certain guys I feel could go up to the main roster. I know somebody wants Carmelo to go up there, and I'm interested to see, and I feel like a lot of people have now said he needed an NXT title run before he ever went up. Big elbow drop from Indy for a 2 count. I don't know if I agree with that initially, but now that he's got it, I think you got to run with it for a bit. Not sold with Indy with the title. May see Indy's shortest title reign. Like I said, it could be one night. She could do that Kane with the WWE Championship of when he won it off of Austin, then turn around and dropped it right back the next night. Jared, how you doing? Zoe Stark's going to win the title. I'm honestly hoping at this point. See, KJ's marking out for you Unbroken, so there you go. Zoe, hopefully she never goes to the mirror. Oh, Johnny, I know you, for whatever reason, don't like Zoe. If you don't know, now you know. There's a triple header on Friday. Battle of the Belts, Tony Khan. That show for Friday after Rampage. Damn, you keep saying that, but I have yet to see a single thing advertised for that. Unless I've just been caught up in the Vince McMahon looking like Mario, confusion storyline that's been going on here. He's the third Mario brother. I haven't seen anything advertised for a Battle of the Belts, but no matter what, folks, we will be here covering anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling. Christ, we're here covering WWE. We did 12 plus out. We did just about 12 hours. We had to cut it off. Of literally, they were going to shut the lights off. The stream would have got, ended prematurely. Pause. If we would have gone any later. Zoe Rose in for 2 count. Oh, we've got a roll up. Don't tell me she wins on a roll up. Oh my God, she won on a goddamn roll up. Way to make. She already didn't look great winning the title because Dexy had to show up and, help lift her up the ladder. And I get it. She's the happable babyface of she just kind of lucks into the stuff. And you got a bit of a pop because you got you got Index back together. But how long can you go to where she just looks like this, should have lost the match, but just lucks into a win by hook or by crook, by fluke? Is only going to run so long before you've got to make her really look as a credible champion. Dale Sanfordo. Excalibur made me more of a Brock fan. Oh, made you more of a Brock fan. Thought it was a great storytelling, especially considering Cody's past. To me, I still think the whole Cody. Oh, we got a Tiffany Epiphany up at the ramp. So we're going to get Tiffany Stratton versus India, I'm assuming probably next week. Oh, and who the? Cora Jade's back. Oh, wow. And there was so much going on. It was such a mystery as to what was actually going on with her, why she was out, why she was sidelined. But damn, I want to get KJ's reaction now when he comes back about Cora showing up, because we've already had more returns and surprise pops on NXT right now tonight than we had at all on the Raw after Mania. Oh, and she even kicks the dirt, wiping the feet on her. And she's not coming back out here with he was a skater boy look. She's coming out here looking like an actual badass. I damn near didn't even recognize her. NXT has a very underrated women's division. We've got Tiffany, we've got Roxy, we've got Alba Fire, we've got Isla Dawn, we've got Cora Jade. Christ. And we've got Nikita Lyons, we've got Zoe Starks, and I still haven't even mentioned the champion. Cheap Mandy knockoff. Why? Because she's got blonde streaks. I thought she was what's her name there? The one that was Persia Parada that's been hanging around with Cardona for a minute. That's who I thought it was. It's Sky Blue. I mean Cora Jade. I mean AJ Lee. I mean not Lita. Randy Orton, I need to come back. Randy Orton need comeback. I would like to see Randy Orton come back. I was hoping we might have gotten it last week, or last night, sorry, but who should just take a long walk off a short pier and not come back is this whole bar rescue storyline with fucking Briggs and Jensen, Kiana James and Fallon Henley, fucking Nost Malone. There's too much just soap opera, like CMT redneck bullshit drama here that I don't care about. I don't want to see on my TV at all.
You popped me on entry. Pause.
Pause the on that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you just went on. Like,
was it good for you?
Good bullshit. Like, oh shit. Yeah, it sucks. Cora Jade, though, I give her credit. She has never been over for me. I don't see I don't get why people get her. I don't get why people trip over her. I don't get why people like, oh my God, Cora. Like, I don't see it. I don't feel it. Her whole skater girl gimmick never worked for me. Her styrofoam skateboard.
She's not that anymore.
This was better. But to me, it was kind of like, how can we make her look like a mini Mandy Rose?
Why? Because she had blonde streaks.
And the thigh highs and she doesn't fill out those shorts nearly as well as Mandy does, just saying. But
now you're just getting down to a tire. Literally, how much you were saying about people nitpicking and everything. I feel a bit of what you're doing there, sir. Of like, I gotta get there.
I give her credit.
Oh, and we do have a moment of silence for Butch.
Man, it was kind of ironic, and it sounds weird, but we had Bushwhackers in our emoji game.
Yeah.
And just randomly, and it got the same news as I was like, oh shoot, like I know it was just a weird coincidence, right? You don't bring them up very often. We bring them up in a game, and then we hear about it. Luke put out a message, and dude, it choked me, man, listening to like the comments about like, oh, when I pass away, it will say I was an only child, but I'm not. I had a brother, and I was like, oh, dude.
All right. Jordan, what up? Steven saying, please break up Bar Rescue. Yeah, it's terrible.
Hey, man.
But so, well, we've got Nick, we've got everybody. But see, like I even said before you came back, we've had more returns and more surprise show-ups and everything tonight than we had it all last night.
You know what they've had way more of? Wrestling. It's fucking amazing. good matches. That ladies match, if you could find me 2 ladies on AEW that could give that match, I'd give you $20.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're friends together with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd like to see that.
Right.
Though Britt wasn't looking too seasoned in that house show footage.
Well, it's a house show. When's the last? When has anyone on that? Well, is an indie show? Does that count as a house show?
Pretty close.
Because I was going to say, when's the last time they worked a house show? But you have to be in a company that's big enough to have a house show. So one of those are like, how do you wake up, Dad? Of like, well, how if you're dead, how do you wake up? Coding scary movie. Calm down.
No, I'm not.
You got the serious face. So I'm
smiling at you. I'm making the face that's Smart Mac here.
Oh, Connor James, your next NXT Women's Champion. No.
Well, Tiffany Epiphany wants it,
especially with Vinnie Mac back in charge.
Oh shit! Look what you.
Well,
did.
we've got Mario, we've got Luigi Mario, now we've got Vinnie Mario. That's what he was just hiding in the mic the whole time and everything. He just had the M there.
He's a Pink Panther villain. It's ridiculous.
He looks like fucking Steve Martin.
Yeah. Hamburger.
I have a hamburger.
Hamburger.
That's Vince trying to talk to Gunther. How was that hamburger? He's like, see, I'm hip, pal. I can speak the languages.
Fucking hell.
You know, I did a lot of traveling when they sent me packing, pal.
Listen, if this is all true and Vince is pushing himself back in, it is one of the most egomaniacal, sinister, tricky, like what?
It's a fucking like cartoon movie come to life.
Yeah.
Of like, I'll get you, gadget.
Yeah, like fucking Dr. Claw taking over. Like, I watch how this plays out. Like, he takes over the company, then a bunch band together and take him out. Like, we thought it happened. We thought he retired. I guess Steph and Hunter are going to start fucking sifting through those emails again.
Well, and then they're getting allegedly, reportedly, supposedly investigated because of the sale, even.
Yeah.
Now we've got literally people of like, no, I will not let this happen. No.
Right.
There's got to be something, Shiesty.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's almost like we don't know if he did anything, but it's him. So probably just check it out.
There's a very good chance that he might have. Yeah. I haven't dug too much into that. I feel like there might be. I don't know enough. We don't try and pretend to be like WrestleNomics or anything. I don't know if you have a fucking like stock trading background or whatever. That's why I just kept saying I because I don't want to speak for you. I'm not good on the financial market. Don't take me for financial advice. But
I have some, but I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, I haven't looked into the whole if there's a real legit case here or if this is more of boo earns.
Yeah, but the shareholders will have a right to argue, and especially when it comes down to the fiduciary responsibility, because they'll have an opportunity to look at, could they have got a better deal? Could they have dealt with someone else? Was there a company out there that would have paid more money, but Vince wasn't allowed to be involved? Did Vince leverage his position to keep his position? And we all can viably say, possibly, probably. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. I can't even judge her. He's 77 for. Yeah, true.
You and your old balls.
All right. Well, speaking of on that note, somebody else is going to retire here for a quick second once I can find it.
My Sandler kicked out. Right now we got Cora Jade talking to the camera. See, when she starts talking, she comes off so fake to me. Like she's trying to play a mean girl on a shitty TV show. Well, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the pictures. And I don't know why that made you sick. All right. So Lyra Valkyria confronts her. She walks off. And Tatum Paxley now coming to the ring. I agree at 2.0. You're right. Thank you. NXT 2.0 is the best in WWE history. Wait, what? Where did that come from? What's the main event of NXT 2.0? Oh, there you go. There you go. What is the main event tonight? I'm not even quite sure. The problem with that house show match was neither Britt or Anna and Jay knew how to grab a headlock or settle it down. Excalibur is a very good point. And again, I think that's a lot of the cases, right? And we see it at times where if something doesn't go right, you botch and they kind of freeze because they're like, okay, you're supposed to be back. And then they'll reset and then do it instead of making it natural, like the flow of a fight. Like, all right, I was supposed to jump through the air and kick you, but we fucked it up. So let's just keep going. Punch me, grab me, do something. You don't reset and do the same thing. And if you do want to try it again, well, then you have to work back to it. So yes, they didn't. Once they lost their center, their chi, their metronome, so to speak. Once they kind of got off kilter, they were screwed. Why can't he just realize, I got that one, retire? He's 77. Any big company mergers is going to have investigations. It happens essentially every time. Valid, common. Yeah, everyone. Again, the lawsuit part of it is just, again, there are people with a valid case that Vince did some really, really gray area shit. Like he's just that guy. He walks a very thin line. Part of Vince's new deal is a mustache clause, where if he shaves it off, forfeits his shares. Jeez. I'd chase him around the office with my Manscaped if that was the case. The six-sided ring caused serious injuries. That's why it's gone. Good riddance. Random. You know what? The six-sided ring, they were trying to be different. Was it stupid? Yeah. Did it make for some really crazy cool moments? Yes. Was the X division really fun in the six-sided ring? Yes. Should they have got rid of it? Yes. Ivy for the win. Yeah, we got Ivy Nile in the ring going up against Tatum Paxley. So I'll take a vote. I'll take an opinion. Who do you got? You should challenge Carmelo Hayes first, KJ Nick. Like Nick and I should challenge Carmelo, or who? Carmelo's cool. I think. I put a suggestion out there that it might be Coffee. Gallus just won the tag titles or retained the tag titles. Pardon me. Booker T, the man. I like Booker T. Some people shit on him. Don't like him. Oh, we don't need him on NXT. I think he's good. He's entertaining. He knows his shit. Why not have him? He's Hall of Famer. Tatum Paxley, one of my favorites. There you go. How did she become one of your favorites? I actually think she looks pretty good here, but we just haven't seen a lot of her, and I can't handle the backstage stuff. Axiom. Ooh. I hope not. Coffee goes after Wesley. Good show. Fair enough. There you go. Mick agrees with you. There you go. They never have enough. They never have hobbies except money. How much money is enough? It's never enough. So we talked about with Vince moving himself into an employee role and getting an employee contract and the severance stipulations and all this shit, because when all this goes down officially, he's going to make money, but just making, the bank he was going to make, let's find a way to make a little more. And you know what? I'm going to put myself in this position when I can do it. And if they don't like me running creative, they can fire me and pay me shit more money. So they're billionaires for a reason. I saw a thing today who said, I think it might have actually been Enzo Amore of all people, who said everyone bitching about this merger are not billionaires. So, period. That's a valid point. We can all sit around and say all we want about the decisions of Vince McMahon and the people around him, but they made billions. What can you do? It happened. They've done it by hook or by crook or by, being very ethical or being unethical. They got to where they are for a reason. And that's why when the IWC loses their mind and thinks they have an impact on how. Ivy chokes her out. Oh, still got that WrestleMania voice. Ivy with the chokeout, folks. The song had Ivy. There you go. A couple other people had Ivy. Ivy for the win. I think Ivy for the win. There you go. Good shouts. Good shouts. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want more money? We all want more money. That's why we do what we do. I mean, that's why we grind. That's why I show up to this. Like, we all want to get paid. We all want to live comfortably. I still think it's a travesty and outright heartbreaking that we got people all over the world starving, don't have clean water, and yet you have men fighting over, generally men, no offense, but it's kind of how it works out. You have all these men, these old white men fighting over billions of dollars. Billions. Billions. Elon Musk sitting on all that money. Just pick a community. Give them clean water. You have the money. You have the technology. Now I'm getting preachy and soapboxy, folks, and I don't get into politics on this channel. But yeah, how much is too much? And for me, it's all fake. It all becomes pretend. I'll move this money over here. You move that money over here. And yeah, it's just the rich getting richer. All that matters. I got Ilya. I almost called him Ivan. Ilya Dragunov here. 5-0. Ivy Goat. What about Dominic Dijak or the other Pacific Islander guy? Give them a title shot. They need to change Von Wanker's name. Oh, Von Wagner talking down to Ilya, guys and girls and everyone else. Money don't bring happiness in this world. I don't know, bro. That's very philosophical, and I would love to agree with you. Cynical older KJ thinks I'd be a lot happier if I had a little more change. It's what you do with it that matters. People create their own problems. Then again, I've tried it the poor way, so by all means, if I can go the other direction, just give it a try. Maybe you're right. I wouldn't know. Ilya Dragunov should challenge Carmelo Hayes. That would be a banger. Again, I think kind of similar to Joe Coffey, where it's like, I think if Ilya goes after Carmelo, he beats Carmelo. Right? I think that's where that is. But I think Dragunov has an opportunity to go up to the main roster without a title run. I like what he's doing, though. We'll see if he can bring out something, the monster that was Von Wagner. And, I mean, Von did well in that little promo there, that little cut. Now I got Axiom come to the ring. This show has too many trippy entrances. Like all the colors, and then you're putting shit in slow motion. What are you doing to me? Right, there you go. There you go. No, there's lots of money out there in this world. Just only a small percentage has it. Vaughn should be the next North American champion. Fair enough. I like Von Wagner, smart Mac. I like Von Wagner. I think he has a bright future. I think he is a monster. He's a big man. He has it in his blood. And again, people saw him when he was green. They kind of dismissed him. I do believe he has main roster, in his future. Wesley for the win. Nice. An interesting twist for the bloodline is Solo wins the Money in the Bank, and then the story for Roman is can he trust his blood every moment? Not bad, Rocco. Bit of a reach. I could see maybe somehow Jay or Jimmy going into the Money in the Bank and just being like, don't worry about it. I'm just protecting your interest. But what if Cody Rhodes won the Money in the Bank? Right? Like, what if there is a plan for Cody? What if they are thinking bigger picture? Will everybody say I'm sorry if in a year, 10 months, 6 months, that this works out really well and they have this huge moment and Cody finally wins the championship? What do you think? Would all the people that are losing their mind over the last 24 hours tweet the opposite? Or would they just pretend like they were always a part of the opposite? That's what I want to see. When this does come to fruition, if they do it right. Now, if they fuck it up, they have no excuse. But if they do it right, will they come back? Will all the people who are bitching and complaining say, we're sorry, we were wrong, we didn't see this, we didn't know you were going to do this? And I think that's one of the biggest things about a modern audience with social media. They need to know where it's going. Infamous for, they want the spoilers. They look up the spoilers for shows, and they gotta know. You gotta know. You need that instant gratification. Sometimes things are worth the wait. Wasn't my turn to watch him, Mick, but I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he's enjoying his pause, and he misses you too. That's not nice. Not nice. Not nice. Got Wesley for the win. We got Wesley Axiom. Who do you got? Who do you got? Who do you got? This match should be entertaining, folks. Soto, the next undisputed champion. Probably not. Probably not. But we all got dreams. I still feel that the next WWE champion will be Cody Rhodes. I just don't know when it happens. But I don't think anybody touches that belt until Cody does. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm lost. But that's what I think. I think Nick hit it on the head. I think Bully Ray hit it on the head. Hard times. For all the fans out there that said, well, he hasn't done enough, and this is bullshit, and they're just doing what they always do in WWE. Well, here's something different. You didn't like that either. So what are we going to do, folks? Pick your poison. Actually, someone used to always say to me, pick your bottles. Excalibur Endeavor is very cheap in signing and wages. Hopefully that's separate. I'm really curious about that factor. But the two companies run their own business the way they do, or will Endeavor say, we kind of want to run everything across the board the same way? Imagine treating wrestlers like fighters. Like you get paid more for the win. If you're gonna win a title, obviously you get a bonus anyway. But you know what I mean. They start making it like, match of the night gets a bonus. How good would the wrestling be if you said to the crew, whoever in here has match of the night, we'll give you an extra $10,000. Yeah, I think we get some good shit.
Whoever has one of the night. What?
What?
But no. Oh, I saw. Why do I gotta get in the fucking ring?
I don't know.
But no, I saw Mika, so I guess I'll do the "I love you" with the Bruce Pritchard. Yeah, we got Wesley and Axiom, and Sean's got to be tripping balls or something, and just on the good vitamins. Because I don't get the Axiom entrance of just.
He's supposed to be going really fast, but he's not, and we know he's not. So stop doing it. You're just giving me a headache.
Yeah.
I don't
think make you not serious at all.
Right? You give him a cool entrance, cool music, cool lights, cool visuals, and then just, let him walk out like a normal person. What are we doing?
But to your point, like you brought up as we go into commercial right there, as Wesley's in the ring, Axiom's on the outside. But like you brought up the point of the modern professional wrestling audience, through the dawning of Twitter, etc. I gotta know, like they're fucking Veruca Salt of wrestling fans.
Wow.
I want the whole story.
Right.
Sometimes you need to let this shit play out. Like they weren't the kids that grew up in the fucking era a bit of this dating us and a little bit of vintage. And sorry, he got on his soapbox. I'm gonna get on mine. To where you had to literally sit there and your dirt sheets was what your buddy told you that he heard from so-and-so, or could be just some bullshit that he made up about what happened at the show that you didn't tune into, or what he heard about so-and-so. Now they all just have goddamn Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and everything else like that. So everybody has a voice and no one wants to take the time to weed through the shit and actually figure out what's fact and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And no one will also sit there and if they got something wrong, like I know we've both done it personally. Of if we've been out here and we say something or we take something and look at something one way, and then it turns out once we get more information that wasn't accurate, to openly admit, nope, we were wrong, and correct and change our point of view on it.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, that's it. And I mean, we kind of made the correlation with shows and stuff. And you see it sometimes with social media, like an episode of everyone's favorite hot, trendy show ends and it was just a cliffhanger. They didn't give it, oh, well, this show sucks. How this show so stupid. Why wouldn't they tell us who was going to do this? Because they want you to tune in next week, fuckers. Like,
everyone hates the ending of Sopranos, but I'll say even firsthand, if you still go back and watch the fucking series, don't you?
Right?
You still like the fucking show.
I think so. You don't bail. And that's what I said. Like, we're all fans of sports teams, or a lot of us are. And I mean, shit, if I gave up on my sports team every time they lost or failed to win a championship, well, thank you, Toronto. But, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's got to be open-minded. And again, what happens if this is the best thing that ever happened to Cody? That we get a really good, like Brock beats the shit out of him for weeks, and then he finally overcomes the beast at SummerSlam or wherever. And then Cody, then turns his attention back to Roman, but something else gets in his way. An old friend comes back, like a Cardona, to fuck with him for a few months.
You know what's hard times, baby? Hard times is when you sit there and you're the main event of WrestleMania in Hollywood and you lose. And then when you show up on Monday Night Raw, you get slammed by the Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate. That's hard times, baby. That's what this fucking is. This is his. Not everything is handed to you because you're Dusty's kid.
And that's what I think happened with Raw last night was the news of Vince being involved. And like, I think if it had gone off the air, everyone would have been like, that was really shit. We didn't get any surprises. We didn't get any big twists or turns. This was really, that sucked. See you all next week. See you Friday. But because everything that got tied to it, they want to lump the Cody thing in and all of it together.
That's the problem, is it snowballed. That's the biggest problem, is that it snowballed. It was the perfect shitstorm of a lot of upset, smart mark wrestling fans. All together.
Yeah. But
I do like this, though, real quick. Of Unbroken says, let's hope Axiom don't break a finger and quit. Yeah, he's a little bit like a smaller Sin Cara.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but it's terrible because it's a kid under there and they just knocked off Razor Wing's fucking gimmick. So
that's also hilarious. Poor Razor Wing.
He's like, hi, you could just hire me, right? Like, I exist too.
So they're like, no, we've seen you work. We'd rather.
Right. They're like, no, thank you. No. We'll take everything that we like about you and just give it to that guy. We'll take everything about you and just he can do it. Someone send Meltzer some toilet paper for his dirty sheets.
Yeah, right. Fuck.
That I feel like needs to be a t-shirt now, and I'm trademarking this idea. So if you see it anywhere else, you know where you got it from. If just toilet paper, and then it's got fucking inaccurate fucking tweets and everything, or terrible wrestling takes on the fucking roll of toilet paper. They're dirty sheets.
I think you might be onto something here. I think I have the power.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a K, there's a J.
Like, yeah, right. They're like, what is he gonna do? I hope it's not.
This KJ is gonna send out a tweet later of just him writing on toilet paper.
Right. He's taking this real serious. I don't know.
He too literal. As we've gone on a full tangent, but
right. Dragunov versus Von Wagner next week. How do you feel about it?
I like it. I mean, he's had a good match with Gunther. Ilya can work with a big guy, so I dig it. And when I was on my pause of Vaughn's not a bad challenger, like the first challenger, say, for Carmelo.
No, not bad. Not bad at all.
Axiom's got an anaconda choke in right now.
My anaconda don't. Never mind.
Yeah,
I almost got started. It's my jam. NXT 2.0 gonna be a good next week.
Could it be good next week? It's not NXT 2.0 anymore.
They
just put a new coat of paint on it.
Right. It's 3.0. Thank you.
It's like the XFL 3.0.
Right.
Have Cody win Money in the Bank.
Oh, that upkick was gross.
I just got a big suplex. Roll up.
Notes.
Oh, yeah, that's that UFC right there.
Right.
The big upkick there. Two count on the roll up. I'm a big wrestling fan. Well, you come to the right place, homie.
Us too, a little bit. Just
a little bit. I don't know if the Wrasslin for Life or anything right above our heads gave it away or anything, but just a little bit.
Oh, shit.
I've got Wesley going up to the top. I'm probably behind you, ain't I? Oh, what?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if he fully hit that or if Axiom got his knees up or what.
Rumor is LA Knight is favorite to win Money in the Bank. Yeah, I mean, I'll believe that when I see it.
Right. Well, he was supposed to have the whole segment with Bobby, but that got called off. Allegedly. But
it's over. What happened to the Punk guy from NXT UK, the guy with the mohawk?
Who?
I'm going through my Rolodex. I can't think.
Yeah. I feel like there's too many A's that, take up the front of the line there that, and especially with the vitamins and everything, sometimes the pages stick together at times. So pause.
Good shout, Smart Mac.
See, you keep doing what I've been trying to not do the whole time. You keep wanting to say Smart Mark every time you read that name.
Right.
Return of the Mac.
Right. KJ Nick have Cody win the Money in the Bank. Then at Mania 40, Cody pulls the Seth like he did to Brock and Roman.
Then you just run it back. Then everybody's going to get upset because they just did the same thing again.
Yeah, but LA Knight's going to win the Money in the Bank, and then 4 weeks later, he's going to fucking job out to Roman.
No, he'll do it at some pay-per-view at
right, maybe
their Fastlane or whatever.
Right. No, what kills me? This ongoing scripts.
Wesley picked up the win, and I've got both men. I've got Axiom raising up Wesley's hand here. Smart Mark, wrestling matters. Yes, it does. This is some Mortal Kombat.
Axiom laid out scripts.
Well, that wasn't hard. To me, this reminds me of when we had Glacier and Mortis and everything else in WCW.
What is with the influx of masked characters on NXT?
Mortal Kombat.
I feel like this is in part like a response to NXT's use of a lot of lucha guys.
Yeah, this is such I almost feel like that's piped, even though it's probably real of an Axiom.
I think they showed the crowd pop pretty good for Scripps getting kicked in the head. It was a really weird move.
He just literally had the spidey sense because he moved so fast and so slow at the same time that he could bend between time and just booted him right in the goddamn head.
Well, the only times I've seen Scripps come in was from that corner. So I guess Axiom watches NXT from time to time.
He's like, I know where you're coming.
Right? Switch it up, homie.
Right. So we're getting Nathan Frazier interviewed backstage right now. Replace women's tag belts for the WWE Women's Television title. Thoughts? Rocco, the good partisan of I've heard talks about the whole women's mid-card title, etc. And I honestly, at this point, I'm not opposed to it. You've shown that you don't care about the women's tag belts. So what are we doing here? To me, you're just doing that so you can say that you're doing it.
Yeah. I'm getting a commercial for the Dusty Rhodes biography this weekend.
Absolutely, baby. You gotta tune in. You gotta tune in not only to the Wrestling for Life, baby. You gotta make sure you hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, but you gotta make sure you tune in and watch Dusty Rhodes, baby.
Right. Love it. Is it ever going to drop is it ever going to drop the title? It don't look like it. Give me, you need to do it happen.
Mick's so upset he can't even call Roman by his name. He's got to just call him it. But I've seen the odds-on favorites while we are in commercial break, by the way, folks. That Roman's already, I guess, quote unquote, the odds-on favorite to end 2023 with a champion, still holding the championship, which to me, it's kind of hard to bet against the guy that has the championship currently, that he's not going to leave with the championship.
I think that's
sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, speaking of how we talked about like bullying, we've talked a bit about busted open quite a bit, I feel, tonight. Of Mark Henry even brought up a really good point, your favorite there, about how what means more of I ended a guy's streak before he got to 1,000 days, or I beat a guy that held the championship for 1,000 days, had a title reign that lasted 3, 4, 5 years long.
Yeah. That's what I think is part of this, right? Like I said it when we talked about it, and I was like, you know what, Cody kind of has to win this, or else they might paint him into a corner. I was afraid because we're very much used to Vince booking of we book him to a main event, he doesn't win it, and then they just fade off.
Right.
But the hope was they got a plan. They got a plan. Now, I did not see Brock Lesnar being a part of that plan, but I believe you're right. Roman hitting that 1,000 sells T-shirts. It makes a big deal. It matters. This ongoing rhetoric of Roman always wins. He's the fucking champion, right? Like usually in combat sport, we were like, he hasn't been beaten in 10 bouts. Like that's what you want.
Every pro wrestling fan right now knows what it's like to fucking A, live in New England, and B, be an NFL fan. And also, graded side note, not be a Patriots fan.
Right.
It just, as much as it's like lol Cena wins, it's lol Pats win. Now it's lol Cena, like Roman wins. Yeah. So when you're that good, when you have Roman out there, and again, it's a bit of character work and everything, it's tongue in cheek, but I'm begging somebody to outdo me. I'm begging somebody to take this from me. Come take the island of relevancy from me. It's on that same level. It's like how you can hate Tom Brady as much as you want. You can hate Michael Jordan if you weren't a Bulls fan, what have you, et cetera, et cetera. You can hate the Yankees because of the fucking tear that they went on. But when someone's on a fucking tear, the Bruins, prime example too.
I despise the Bruins.
You can hate them as much as you want, but at the end of the day, when you still see what they've accomplished and how good they are and that level that they're at, you have to acknowledge us.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. And beyond that, Nick, is the same fans that complain about this will complain if the title becomes a hot potato. So what you want 6-month runs? You want 1-year runs? What do the fans want? Because this seems to be if the WWE or AEW, and I would argue that AEW might do it more than the WWE does. If you continually listen to your fans, you're going to consistently be inconsistent in your booking.
Tony Khan.
Right? Because the fans don't know what they want. We're fickle bitches. Ask Daniel Bryan. We're fickle. We're fickle. We change our minds. We can't even fucking pick what fucking we want to eat tomorrow. Never mind decide what wrestler we want to win. So that is where you can't chase it. You got to have a plan. You got to stick to it. The goal now where WWE fails is follow through. Give us the whole story and get to the end.
Well, and even then, too, of whichever way the wind blows, of so-and-so said something funny on Twitter, so now I want them to win. Even though I was cheering for so-and-so this whole time. That's the thing is wrestling fans, the mass census that everybody seems to try and ultimately placate to will shift on a dime and even still can't agree within itself.
Right.
So
man,
I would focus on that is there's no other way to put it but Tony Khan. Just prime example right
coming
there.
soon. Tank Ledger.
Who?
Tank Ledger, Dana Palmer. They're announcing new people.
Tank Ledger.
Danny Palmer, Oba Femi. Obar Femi. Wow,
Yeah.
huge.
This is the performance
NIL,
class, I guess.
yeah.
Performance Center class of 2023.
They got Joe Gacy's older brother. Yes.
Who's your what?
He looks like Joe Gacy, the first guy.
Oh yeah. Obi Femi looks like he should be
Bully's
in
harmless.
a tag team with Zion Quinn.
Right? Bully's harmless. Listen, I don't love everything Bully says, and I do believe that Bully knows how to crank a knob to get a reaction.
Pause the hell on that.
I knew you were I couldn't avoid that one. But listen, when he says something stupid, I come on here and I say, I think Bully said something stupid. Today, when I was listening to him, I thought he said some smart shit. Just so happened, my boy over here was sending it to me as I'm watching it. I go to send it. Hey, look what we did.
Right.
When he's right, he's right. Listen, it's the same thing with Tony or Triple H or Vin or whoever. When they do good, we'll tell you they did good. If we think they did bad, we'll tell you they did bad. And you might not agree with us, but Bully's good. Bully has a value. And I think he doesn't.
You don't always got to agree, but as long as you listen with open ears.
And be respectful. That's what I don't get.
I wasn't even saying with that.
No, I just
you can sit there and curse. Yeah, not on stream, but I'm saying if you're listening to me, you can curse me out in your own head of this goddamn idiot. Don't know what the hell he's talking about. Be respectful in the chat. But
I was more. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, to me, just as long as you're willing to listen and have the conversation, that's half the battle right there.
That's it.
Yes. We have him Jones, we have him Duncan, we have Himmy Turner, Himmy Cricket, out here stomping in his Himberlands.
I didn't know the him thing was a him thing.
What?
I didn't know about the him thing until the other.
Well, that's because you walked. You quit. You CM punked yourself with NXT for a bit.
I hit Cliff with a chair, and now I got to leave.
Yeah. He busted into your locker room, and A Steel was there, and it was just got all sorts out of hand.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say about the respectful part. Is like it really does blow my mind to go on Twitter and watch people like cursing and like losing their mind in such a disrespectful way to each other over wrestling. Like oh, I thought Cody Rhodes should win. You're a fucking idiot. Die. I thought Roman should win. Oh, you're the dumbest person ever. Like, I don't get it. And the people that have platforms like us that kind of encourage that type of like, I was right. You're all fucking morons. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Shut up.
Those are people who have never been in an actual situation to where you say things in real life situations show up. And B, just literally don't know how to articulate anything beyond that. Mello, this man's, like I said, he's a star 100%. What?
And Trick underrated, buddy.
Oh, absolutely. I've been on the Trick bandwagon here for a hump, and I think since let me go. Fine, whatever.
I should have let that
one. The red light's on. No, you're good. Like I said, folks, when the red light's on. Yeah, but no, he's been good. Like back when he was like, there was a good brief period around like when they were having the weekly special shows every now and then on Tuesdays, to where he'd have like singles matches, and he'd actually have probably one of the better matches of the night.
Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering who's coming out.
Braun Breaker, we got to get the passing of the torch here.
Oh, you got to get the solidified win?
Well, I don't even know if it's going to be a straight up challenge. I think it might be more of the like, you earned it, the sign of respect. Braun may not be long for NXT. Of what more do you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Crush passed away in 2007. When they reported Crush is passing away, some Canadians thought the pop singer Bryan Adams had kicked the bucket. So that was kind of oopsie.
Where did that all come from?
I don't know. I just read it. I just read.
Okay.
I just follow them. I follow the dots, dude.
I was gonna say, welcome to the news from 2007.
I think
you're just crawling out of your dungeon that you watch professional wrestling.
Right. I think we missed some comments.
Well, just a little bit, folks. At times, as you've seen amongst yourselves and everything, 100%. Christ, I've been there, right. To where it gets a little bit crowded, a little convoluted. Yeah, Trick's 100% underrated, but Carmelo has been a star and been, to me, I feel, the backbone of NXT for a hot minute.
Yeah,
Tony Khan should think about it. Wow, wrestling promotion.
He's calling out Braun.
The last thing Tony Khan needs to do right now is add more wrestlers.
I agree with you.
More promotions.
I will say this. I told you a couple weeks ago, I accidentally watched an episode of WoW, and I was really impressed with how they get through the show as far as being entertained. Like, I watched it, and it was a quick watch. Like, the show has a cadence to what you're like, what's going on? What's this? I got pulled into it like a loser. It was good. If they would just change, a few things and get rid of kind of the hokiness of it, like, farmer's daughter, and just call her like Peggy Sue, and we get what you mean. Right. But the overall production and how they build a match, I thought it was really well done.
Fair enough. Well, Braun's coming out here fully with, I don't know if it's jobber face / I'm done face, but he's out here. He's humble as hell. He's sitting there, showing respect to Carmelo, everything. Like I said, I think he's probably done in NXT.
It feels like it. Or it's just a heel turn and he pulls a Brock Lesnar right now.
You called it once and now you're like, I'm going to keep calling that shot.
I'm not calling that here. Man,
he doesn't hike up his jeans.
It was funny to me, right? Like, just he hiked up his shorts. We're fucked. He did it.
Right. Everybody knows that one move of like, all right, I'm about to swing, so you just randomly, naturally hike your shit up for some reason. So when I swing, my ass won't fall out.
I got to get my knees in the right position in these pants.
Yeah, I got to loosen up for 10 seconds here. So Cody needs to beat a guy who Roman's beat twice. So the loser at WrestleMania has to beat the other loser at WrestleMania. Plus, Brock has gotten lazy in the ring.
Brock is definitely lazy in the ring.
No, he done one. He won. Right, and even then, this is. We've said this multiple times. I know you're joining it a bit late on, but this is hard times. He's got to
put it this way. Yes, he does, and I'll give you why.
Go ahead.
Champion. Pick a fucking weight class in UFC. Champion loses the fight. That guy who loses now becomes a lower ranked fighter than he was. Champion's doing his thing. If you're lower on the ranking and you're trying to get back to that champion, or you want that rematch, sometimes you do have to go against guys that have already lost to the same guy that you want to beat. Sometimes you do have to reclimb that ladder. So it's not unheard of in combat sport, or if you're trying to build a real scenario of like, no, Cody, you don't just get another match. You have to go through some hard times. And yes, sometimes you got to beat a guy that the champ already beat. Prove you can do it. What if Brock stops Cody? That will blow everybody's mind. Me too.
Touche. As this has just been nothing but a shine.
I feel like there's a turn.
A sign of respect. A passing of the torch. We're already past. We're already over time.
There it is. 2 nights. 2 for 2.
Oh my God.
Bye-bye,
why you got to be ahead of me?
I didn't know I was.
Give it up for the HM. Oh.
Some days, some weeks, it just pays to be cynical. We just saw this. But this is where you get your solid, your go home win now.
This is a double turn. Carmelo was the heel going in. This is a double turn.
Yeah, and Carmelo, like the fans were chanting Melo when he came out. So if you're gonna do the match again, you need somebody to be the heel. It can't be Carmelo. They kind of had to do this, and now Carmelo can put Braun and his NXT. This is the end of Braun with NXT. He loses one more time to Carmelo and goes bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's got to be the double turn because you can't have him be the heel and without Carmelo turning babyface. But God damn you being right twice in a row.
Man, I even said, no, I'm not calling this one. But
literally. And then it's like, So you got that fast track, but your mic just goes straight to Vince and Gorilla there of just like he's like, all right, he said it. God damn it, I'm gonna do it.
No, but it was again tonight when they were holding his hands up, he held it a little too long. So those tells like he's gonna do it. His hand started twitching and shit. You're like, oh
I haven't even
no,
gotten there yet.
dude, I play poker. You gotta watch the tweaks and the twitches. The tells.
Some guy said Cage versus Fulton versus Crush on Wrestling Revolver 3. You got what the hell?
Oh.
Anyways, Braun was holding Carmelo's hand. So Larry, I guess, agreed with
Larry, yes.
Jordan with the flames, Braun turning heel. So see, I guess a couple people were right there with you. But folks, that does it for NXT tonight. And like Jack's already given us, we do take a rating at the end of every show. I know, if you look at Cage match, last night's Raw was the lowest rated and all of that. But hopefully this was rated higher than NXT and everything. I got to get a little dig in there.
Right. I laughed at that today because when I was like, lowest rated ever by who? And you were like, I didn't think you would have an answer. You had one. I was like, oh, fuck them.
I was like, wait, you're trying to just disrespect Cage match?
Right. No, it was so funny. I didn't know you had an answer. But I honestly don't think it should be the lowest ranked Raw ever. Maybe the most.
It was because of expectations that people had going in.
Hearts were broken, folks. I get it.
Right.
But
yes, Braun just turned 7 out of 10. Well, we had a 7.5, 7 out of 10. Mick's just giving us a 10 plus out of night. Yes. Well, then how come we ain't there, Mick? You got somebody else over there. You got somebody else there.
Right.
8.5 out of 10. It's the style of show Raw should have been. Fair enough. I think I mentioned about we've had more returns. We had more surprises. We had more returns tonight than we did on Monday night.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that both main events ended with kind of a moment very similar.
Right. That's a really interesting thing. Now you watch. We're gonna get off here, and everybody's gonna be like, Vince was booking NXT tonight.
Yeah.
8 out of 10.
Michaels was probably waking up this morning just thinking, oh, fuck, Vince, what'd you do that for?
Right. So no call up. Yeah, no call up so far. More callbacks. Like Noam Dar showed up randomly, surprisingly, tonight.
Yeah.
I'm amazed we both remember what he looked like at this point.
It took me a minute.
8 out of 10. Not just hearts broken, but logic. 7.5 out of 10. Vince leaving NXT alone is a good sign. Well, like I said, we had the same finish both nights in a row, like KJ predicted here. Well, I'm normally here with Cliff Stradamus. Now I got KJ's. I got KJ's.
I can't pull that off.
Well, you're not going to wear the turban now. You're not going to wear the headgear. You're not going to do the Johnny Carson.
No, I'm not. That's the smart answer in this. There's a joke in a few.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Let's move on.
Tonight was a great NXT, which is surprising. I don't know if that was a heel turn or not. That was 100% a heel turn.
It was a huge heel turn. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you give tonight, sir?
I like tonight. I'm gonna go 7.5. I'd probably give it an 8 if I was like dialed right into some of it. Marks on the Kiana James shit sucks. The bar rescue needs to go away. The matches were solid. The girls match was really good. The first one with even Paxley match wasn't too bad. To the point. I like that. I'll go 7.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, NXT wasn't bad. 7 out of 10, but Raw was terrible. That was the type of show that made me stop watch wrestling for years.
Yeah. I did that.
Yeah, I'm debating right there about like a 7.5. I'm right along with you there. If it wasn't bad at all, like there was some really good matches. I feel like because of all the other news going on around WWE right now, that it sucked the attention away from NXT. So I guess just for the sake of halfway disagreeing, I'll give it a 7. Lucky number 7 of hopefully Vince is not fully in charge of creative. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10 a bit because so much going on with the company pulled us away from the actual show.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought it was good though. What we watched, and I said the pace of things. I like it. I think it reminds me of how Tony's book in Ring of Honor, just match, 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 a little bit of story, match, match, little bit of story. Like it's very simple. Even the ending there was what, like a 6 minute segment, no commercials. We just got to the point. He thanked them, did his speech, got it over with. It wasn't all this drawn out 25. They don't have the time.
Yeah, but does it not feel a little weird? Like to me already with the whole drawn out of like, thanks, Braun, for letting me whoop your ass last night. That felt
Baby,
like you were already halfway a bit calling your shot, but it also felt a little bit too long on the tooth. It's a bit like with Brock destroying Cody last night.
it went on forever.
If that was a minute and a half, even at most, you're fine. Maybe a minute. You don't have it sit there and go for 5-10 minutes plus.
Mm-hmm. But man, it's funny because I remember like again, not to be old man on porch, but like I remember watching SmackDowns and like a guy like Foley taking an absolute beating, and you're like, someone's coming to help him, someone's coming to help him, and just it just went on, and then the show ended, and you were like, oh fuck, I hate the show. It sucks because it's playing with your emotions. It's eliciting the response they want is rage, is outrage. They want people fucking losing their mind. Like the guy we saw at WrestleMania beating the shit out of a chair. Like, all right, like that's what they're supposed to do.
That's the thing is it all goes back to these are a lot of people who have never been told no before. And these are a lot of people who don't know how to handle when things don't go their way.
Yeah. And they all get together on the internet and fucking cry.
No, because it's just you have a giant platform to bitch on.
Right.
But anyways.
My favorite matches tonight was Nathan Frazier, Dragon Lee. That was a good match. Hell of a match. Good pace, fast. Dragon Lee's making a name for himself in NXT now. That's cool.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that was his debut match tonight. And again, that was a middle of the show match and was a fantastic match. It shows how much even tonight with NXT, still with the Vince stories, with everything going on, that still we're like, all right, nope, we're talking about everything in the ring right now. I feel like if that had flipped, like if we had as much going on with Vince, etc., and then had to watch Monday Night Raw, we wouldn't have been
pulled away,
drawn in quite as much.
Well, we would have definitely had a good fucking hour, 45 minutes at least last night.
Yeah, there would have been not a whole lot going on in the middle of that show.
Just real quick, I know it's a side note, we're heading towards the door to Tuesday night. So we're getting out of here. But how did you feel about the tag match last night? I thought it was all right, but a lot of people, it was like mixed reviews, and apparently the in-house crowd wasn't really into it, or it didn't seem. I thought it was great.
The KO Street Profits one?
Yeah, I thought it was good. A good first little defense. They're fighting champions.
I think it's more of the way that it was set up. I've heard accusations that it was initially supposed to be just a straight up an actual title match, and it was also meant to be a bit more of building up of, well, you guys won this match, so you get here. I know it was a bit that, but it was it just with everything of, I feel like if it had been built properly or pitched properly, it's the weird production stuff that to me I think hinged a lot of this stuff. The in-ring stuff to me wasn't terrible. It was the peripheral around it.
Yeah, like Seth coming all the way out, and somebody reported that was supposed to be like that. Like, who booked a segment where he just came out, made the fans sing, and left again?
Yeah, no, that to me, I know you can try and hide some shit, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. When Seth comes out and he starts to talk on the mic, and then someone says, you come here, gives him the Iggy, like, no, that was not planned, I feel.
No.
And you're going to do that too when you have that. Like, that's the thing is, I think that's part of that plays into the storm of the reaction. That plays into why stuff didn't feel as great when you watch it in, like, if you watch it in ring, it was good. But if you were there live, you're watching it live, everything, you're taking everything, and it was dampered down because the in-between shit just killed you.
That's a good point. It was an open challenge, and I think they're doing it again on Friday, so you don't get much of a build. I think Excalibur misunderstood in the sense of, I don't think like a storyline build. I think you were saying like within the show how we got, like it was just,
If they had come out and said there was a team who also won a tag team match at WrestleMania, and we're a fighting team, so we're going to put the championships on the line against them tonight. Boom, pop the baby,
Yeah, fair enough. I see what you're saying.
Right. But, to me, that works better. That you don't have to have a big story. You just got to give me a reason why it's fucking happening.
Fair enough. I mean, I think they're going to. I hope they could continue the open challenges and we get really good tag matches. I love that idea.
Absolutely. But you go to. You got any more? Or you?
The last question is this one, and then I think I'm good to bounce.
Fair enough. What matching looking forward to the most tomorrow night on Dynamite? I'm happy just because it's MJF Day. So that's what I'm excited for. You can let the people know what you're excited for.
I'm really excited to see the FTR match because I want to know. And that's what you got to do. If you're going to write good wrestling shows, you got to make me want to know. I want to know.
But that's the thing is, if you're Tony, you're going to get eyes, you got to deliver.
Oh, you got it. I'm hoping Tony's got a big announcement. I hope it's a big fucking announcement. And I hope he takes advantage of this. I hope he gets away from a lot of like the tomfoolery that kind of hurts your ratings and gives us a really good show tomorrow. Right now, everyone's just fucking mad at the WWE. This is your chance to scoop up as many new viewers as you possibly can.
Yeah, this is your point, your time to strike here, I feel. But yeah, that's a great shout of the FTR match. I personally think that they're going to WWE because I'm still hoping on the hopium, I guess. I'm on the hopium train. That Monday Night Raw last night was a one-off situation. Because if it's not, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better, I feel, across the board.
Oh, I mean, that's what we want. We want both companies clicking. Like, that's what we, in a perfect world. And we haven't really seen it where both companies were on fire. They've taken turns.
It's a wrestling war. Both companies seem to be trying to lose.
It's the weirdest shit. It's like somebody.
There's no number one draft pick. There's not a professional wrestling draft at the end of the year. You're not fucking fighting for standings. Just try and be better. Do better.
Be better. Do better.
Right.
Yeah, that's it, man. Just remind everybody, check out our socials, do all that fun stuff. Don't miss out. We will be back tomorrow, and we're here for the rest of the week. We got all the coverage. That's all I got, bro. I'm awkward on this at this point with this one.
No, you have it. You do your thing, and I'll do my thing. That's how we'll get all screwed up. You do your thing, I'll do my thing, and I'll hit the videos.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was NXT Big Nick show. I was happy to play Cliff Piff here today, or Piff Cliff, either way. Like I said, we are back tomorrow for Dynamite. It's going to be a fun one. And then we're here all week long, Thursday, Friday. We got all the shows. We got all your coverage. We got more coming your way. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Discord. Check out the merch store. Get yourself a shirt, t-shirt, hoodie, crop top. I know some of you need a crop top out there. Let's go, Blue Meanie.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But thank you for all the support and love. Come back tomorrow.
Be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you're talking about that wrestling, you better put that for life with it. See you tomorrow, folks. Peace.
See you on the side.